Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron, talking Charger football with you, other NFL football with you as well. In today's show, obviously, we're almost to the point where guys are going to return to the building, right? This is the time, as we say all the time, where the NFL really takes 6 weeks off at an entire year. Otherwise, it's full NFL all the time, but there's always NFL news. I mean, there's a story. I don't know if you guys care about it. I'll ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this news to you? Aaron Rodgers saying this is going to be his last year.
Don't care. 0. Do you care?
I want more. Let's just get more hot takes from him. Let's let him cook.
You know what is the craziest thing? For anyone that remembers, I don't know about you guys, how well you remember Brett Favre when things went bad in Green Bay, but it went exactly like this. I mean, it was exactly with Aaron Rodgers sitting front row of who we saw how not to do it. Where you threaten to leave, and you threaten to leave. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if football's important. I don't want to do practice, but I like the games. All this stuff like, hey, I'm going to leave it behind. And then, Aaron Rodgers had to be thinking, please, just leave. I want to play. For a long time, he's sitting on the bench just wanting to play. And finally, with Brett Favre's like, no, I think I want to come back. No, we made up our mind for you. Basically, you aren't coming back to the Packers. And then he figured out a way to end up with the Jets and the Vikes and all that stuff. And then obviously rip a bunch of people off in Mississippi. But whatever he decided to do, that's what Brett Favre did. Now you look at Aaron Rodgers, who's almost followed exactly the way of not how to do things. Like everywhere he goes, people can be more excited to see him leave. So like, oh, you're telling us you're going to leave this league? You're going to leave the Shield? Oh, what are you going to do? How are we going to last? Like we have games in Europe coming up in 2026. What are you, insane? That's why the NFL is the greatest sport out there. Right? When you talk about everything else, when you talk about Caitlin Clark, face of the WNBA, Shohei Ohtani, face of Major League Baseball. Well, who is the face of the NFL? Because guess what? They don't need a face. They have the shield. It's always protecting the shield. The owners have figured this out, that it's marketing the shield. If you go back and look at your fantasy football team from 2019, you're going to go, how many of these guys are still in the league? We just rotate. The show goes on in this league. So for Aaron Rodgers to sit there with these threats, F off. I speak for 90% of the world when we're saying, Aaron, goodbye. Like you overstayed your welcome. If you think we're going to miss you on the way out, take your weak ass and your stupid headphones with the wires on them and shake your ass out the door. Everybody's tired of you.
Yeah, so I told Dave last week, I was interested in the Aaron Rodgers situation with his family because you always hear that his family and him don't talk to one another. So here's what I found, Mario. So he has an older brother and a younger brother. Everybody knows his younger brother, Jordan Rodgers. I believe he's on The Bachelor, played football himself, right? They don't talk to Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is hypercritical of everything his family does. For example, when Jordan Rodgers went on The Bachelor, Aaron Rodgers says, how dare you put our family information out there like that? How dare you put yourself in the public image? Yet, Aaron Rodgers puts everything in the public image. Everything he does, ayahuasca, everything he's thinking of, whether it's politics or anything else, he's kind of like Kyrie Irving in a sense. But he gets mad at Jordan Rodgers for putting his family's business out there. Well, you disagree with that about Kyrie Irving?
No, I'm not like that's accurate. That's a very good comparison. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Throw down right now. Anyway,
no, it's spot on.
But anyways, Aaron Rodgers is just difficult to be around. He doesn't talk to anybody in his family. And it kind of bothers me how much we talk about him on this show, but we have to because he always makes comments. And I 100% agree with Dave. The show goes on. My brother used to make this comment. It went, you can't play hard to get if you're hard to want. And that's kind of how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. He's always trying to play hard to get, like the spotlight's always on him. But when he ages himself out of the NFL in maybe next season, people are going to forget about him and just move on. Kind of like what they did with Drew Brees, right? Drew Brees was an all-time great quarterback. He steps away from the Saints. Who's next?
And, it's not like he made the NFL. It's not like we credit him for making it popular. Like, no, this very well established before he came along. You're part of an organization, too, that has had a long running of successful quarterbacks where they just reload at that position. It's not, a one and done type of scenario. The thing that always made me laugh about Rodgers is I don't want attention, but I'm going to go on Pat McAfee every Tuesday. I don't want attention, but, I'm going to speak up about this. I'm going to say that. It's so contradictory. I'm going to be the host of whatever, Wheel of Fortune or whatever the hell it was.
Wheel of Fortune, State Farm commercials. I mean,
and it's
about putting yourself out there.
Exactly. And it's like, hey, if you don't want attention, there's so many different ways you can go about it, and you're doing everything the wrong way to do it. Adam Schefter, lose my number. Well, he's a reporter that reports NFL news, and he's the best at it. So he's going to have your number. And then guess what? If you change your number, he could probably get it again. And he probably will. Like, that's just his job. He's annoying. He's ruined my life a lot. He's probably hurt me more than anyone else in my life. And I'm really ready for him to be gone. I'm pretty positive. I'm pretty pumped for it.
It's funny how there's a way, obviously, of playing this game and not being out there. There are other NFL quarterbacks that do a good job of basically playing the game and moving on. Justin Herbert does it all the time. You don't see Justin everywhere. You don't see Carr everywhere. There are a bunch of quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers did a really good job. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to be seen. You get paid to do this job. But Aaron was always a red light guy. He was in front of the camera all the time, to the point he loves the camera so much he told his brothers, don't get in front of the camera. Like, more for me. I'm the only one in this family that can share the camera. He's a bizarre individual. We always know what he's doing during the summer, which is weird. When he dated Danica Patrick, that was weird. I mean, stop dating high-profile people. Everything's weird about this guy. So see you later. I mean, the threat of one more season, if that's supposed to be breaking news, fine. You know what? Goodbye. I hope the next time we see Aaron Rodgers is when he goes to Canton, Ohio, when he goes in the Hall of Fame. And then we're done. Then we don't have to worry about it anymore, because every stop he's been, he's not going to be welcome back in the whole alumni tour. The Jets aren't going to say, guess who's here? Alumni weekend. Aaron Rodgers, everybody. That's not going to happen. Steelers aren't going to do it. Packer fans right now are pretty upset with them. So overall, done with this guy. It's not like where we miss Phillip Rivers. We miss guys who are former Chargers that aren't here. Unfortunately, he created this. It's a disaster.
Do you think anybody hires him for a media role post playing career?
God dang it, man. I hope not. I really hope not.
I don't think you want, like, maybe he does Pat McAfee stuff still, but I feel like he doesn't want to talk football.
If you're Pat McAfee, do you still pay him the $1 million a year? Do you still pay him the $1 million a year?
Not when he retires.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Because like you said, like, he doesn't, like, he's not like he's on there talking to X's and O's. He's on there like, COVID.
Scrambling.
Yeah, yeah. Like mushrooms are great. It's like, well, yeah, I've been to a concert too.
So a couple things also going on in this league. Let's go to something that actually affects the Chargers. I just saw this right before we went on, so I just screenshotted it. And so basically, not the thing I just sent you, Josh, by the way. Don't want to freak everyone out. All right, freak my kid out. All right, here we go. The deal from Fox NFL, one perfect landing spot for teams that have outs. Okay, I'm going to ask you what you think. There are 5 guys on here. Any one that you think you'd go, I'd like to see him as a Charger, or that is the perfect landing spot. Okay. Again, this is Fox NFL. Jalen Ramsey, they have him going from the Dolphins to the Buccaneers as a perfect landing spot. You want to see Jalen Ramsey in a Charger uniform, or would you rather, hey, go ahead and get traded to the Bucs?
Get traded. We already have young corners. We don't need them.
Yeah, I get traded. I'm not really a big fan of that move. I've seen that more and more too. I think ESPN had something yesterday too about some heat of Jalen Ramsey possibly going to the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm fine if it happens, but I'd rather stay out of it.
Okay, here we go. Trey Hendrickson, Cincinnati Bengals. They have him going to the Panthers.
100% want Trey Hendrickson. Might be the best defensive player in the NFL.
I'd be completely for it. We need a lot of youth on our pass rushing right now. We're getting a little old in that department. We have a lot of interior guys on expiring contracts coming up, so I'd be for it.
Me too. He would be the guy that I want. Like, as soon as he joins this team, the best player we have. I mean, he's the real deal. It's a weird guy, meaning he's a throwback guy. Like, if you watch football in the 80s and 90s, I'd say 80s even. Like, he doesn't use any of the stuff the other guys use. You don't see all the equipment everyone does to stay safe. He doesn't protect his hands. He's nothing. It's like, hey, my mom dropped me off. What time the game start? Because I'll be ready in 20 minutes as soon as I tie my shoes, guys. Like, he's that guy. He just looks like, hey, football is really important to him, and he's unbelievable. Really, really good.
I'm curious on that asking price too.
I did.
By the way,
it has to be a lot. Right?
Has to be.
I mean, what would you give him? What would you give up?
His contract's up. I'd probably give up a second-round pick for him.
I would.
I might imagine you have to get a first.
I don't know. The contract expires, like Josh said.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't give up a first for an expiring contract, but I'll give up a second probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd have to talk the Bengals down, but I'd go for it. Just see what happens.
The one that we hear all the time, Jonnu Smith going from the Dolphins to the Steelers. Do we want him as a tight end, or are we happy with what we have?
To me, he's not a lot different than Tyler Conklin, so probably not for me.
Can they get that deal done? Like, stop grab assing. Like, what the hell is going on? There's
when I said it to you,
that.
Admit it. When I said it to you, for a second, I thought that deal was done 2 months ago.
I did.
Right?
I thought it was just they're like, what's going on? I can't stand. There's nothing I hate more than like to bring up just Rodgers again, but like the Rodgers going to Pittsburgh, but just hasn't happened yet. It's like, just make it happen. Just shut up and do it already. The Lonzo Ball, like a couple years ago to the Bulls, that thing drove me insane. It's like, obviously he's going to Chicago. We have to wait until literally exactly at 1 p.m. for it to be reported. Like, newsflash, it's already signed and done a month before. Like, stop grab assing. Like, my Lord, I can't stand. I don't know why. I'm a little fired up today. I hate moving more than anything. I had 4 freakouts today, but that just added to it.
Did you pack your mic already?
I did, and that was freak out number 2.
Okay, we forgive you. It's fine. All right, what's
next one for you? All right, I got 2 left. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, going from the Commanders to the Raiders.
His contract is up next year. Is that why?
Mario, what's going on in Washington?
So it's that, and what they first offered him, he found to be, he was like the whole situation of, oh, this is disrespectful. I can't believe you guys sticking me in this light. Like, I should be getting way more than this. But he's like beloved here, by the way. Like, he is. I'm trying to think of like an equivalent for like the Chargers. I don't want to say he's their Herbert,
Derwin.
but like, yeah, Derwin. Good pull. Yeah, he's their Derwin. Like, he's loved here. And like, think about it, this guy's been through the ringer
all the
with them,
horrible
right?
times. Yeah, it's been there. I think he's more loved than Derwin even.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
I would argue so. Yeah, so and he loves it here. You know, we'll see if he stays. But
so my opinion on him is, no matter what you offer him, you would sit there and go, hey, he's gonna say or deserves more. I mean, he really went through bad times with that organization. Now that things are on the way up, we're ready to go. You just knock over all your Adderall while I was talking?
Shut up.
What just happened?
Dude,
bad day. We all have
my
them.
phone and AirPod case, and also my Adderall just went everywhere.
Oh boy.
I know.
All right. Tell you right now, I don't know. We aren't ranked by the #1 Charger podcast. It's ridiculous, but okay. I mean, never happens.
I did my research for the show last night. Damn it.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm not criticizing it. I'm saying that's stuff you don't get on other shows.
It's true.
If you watch another show and a guy announces on there, my Adderall just went everywhere, that's crazy stuff. I mean, you're immediately on like awful announcing, right?
I hope not.
Maybe we should play video games and live stream it, and maybe our ratings will go up.
Ooh, we should do that.
Anyways, what's next?
All right, last one. TJ Watt going from the Steelers to the Commanders.
He's not going anywhere. He's going to retire with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think. I don't think they ever let him go. Why would you?
It seems like the most anti-Steeler like move of all time if he just gets moved all of a sudden. I feel like they're going to do anything they can to get him to stay there. Especially this might be their – I think they think in there like they are Super Bowl or bust year. Because this is Rodgers' last go.
Bust. I'll give him the answer right now.
It's busted.
Who's busting?
Me this morning. Anyways.
Yeah, the best. There's 2 guys on that list that are elite players. There's one guy on that list that's a very good player. Then the rest are, Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey. They're on the back 9 of their careers, right? You got Trey Hendrickson and TJ Watt, who are perennial Pro Bowl players, 2 of the best defensive players in the league. And then you have Terry McLaurin, which you can make an argument as a top 10 receiver in the NFL, very good player. Those 3 guys I would take. But like we discussed a second ago, you're going to have to give up a lot for all 3 of them. So I don't know if that's the Chargers' MO. It seems like Joe Ortiz is not in that business of giving up draft picks. But if he has somebody he really likes, you've seen him move up in the draft. Maybe he would give up a draft pick for a player that can make an immediate impact.
I'm curious to see if they have any, like, maybe move in the back pocket. The Trey Hendrickson thing is just something really great to monitor heading into camp, as well as how long is this holdout going to be? Is there going to be some kind of flame out that happens in Cincinnati as well? If they do end up moving him and like somehow it gets to that pivotal point, what NFC team can they kind of get him to and not in the AFC? Because obviously you don't want him in the same conference as you. You know, does that a move the Commanders suddenly make? Because they obviously need an edge rusher. You know, who's to see? Maybe like Chicago wants to get in that business. Does Detroit want to get in that business? That was the problem they had last year. Aiden Hutchinson was their leading sack guy, and he got hurt, halfway through the season? And he still led them in sacks. Great player, but that shouldn't happen.
Not Aiden Hutchinson. Trey Hendrickson's a player I want. TJ Watts, I don't want him. I think he's basically the career is running down. I mean, you look at it when you put your body on the line the way he has. You can't ever say the guy half-assed anything. The guy was always a top player in this league, and then to follow in his brother's footsteps, pretty hard to sit there and go, look, my brother's a Hall of Famer, and now people are saying, hey, which guy is better? Because I'm sure people in Pittsburgh would say, we'll take our Watt over the Texans' Watt. Outstanding player. I just think right now, man, when you put your body through that, you understand there's not a lot of time left on the clock. And I say 2 to 3 years max, and people say I would take that. I'm not saying the 2 to 3 years max what he was 3 years ago. You're going to get the guy that just puts the uniform on, and you can't exactly get rid of him because of the name. No offense to Joey Bosa, and 100% when I say that this is meant to be offensive to Joey Bosa. This is what's supposed to happen to your body when you actually give 100% an entire NFL season. It's supposed to look the way TJ Watt's doing it, where you go, this guy's giving you everything he can until somebody puts their hand on his shoulder and say, hey, son, we're going to go with somebody else. Thanks for your service. That's the way
I feel like that's a good call out. I feel like Joey Bosa is like the anti TJ Watt and Max Crosby. What do all three of them have in common? They play edge, right? They're edge rushers. What else were you thinking? So Max Crosby's on the Raiders busting his ass, right? That's his whole thing. I listened to a podcast yesterday with Pete Carroll saying he is a coach's dream, a guy that is going to lead by example, and he's going to lead, with his words. He's the perfect player. And I hate saying that about a guy that's on the Raiders, but doesn't everybody wish Max Crosby was on their team, right? He busts his butt on every single play in practice, and in the game we see it too. Joey Bosa, I think that's the most frustrating thing about him, right? He didn't give it his all every play. I don't want to talk about Joey Bosa anymore. We'll just leave it at that. Let's move on to the topic right here on the title of the show. What is the Chargers' biggest weakness in 2025? What do you think it is, Mario?
So this is something that I looked at as a weakness and something that going forward I think is going to be a very big problem that they have to address, and it's the defensive line and like the foundation of it. For me, Mac is very old. I love him. He's one of my favorite players I've ever watched play football, period. But the guy has, 2 years left maybe in him of high-end football before he calls it quits. You lost Puna Ford, which I still think was a terrible move by the Chargers. He should be in a Charger uniform. Then you have Deshaun, Tart, Jones, Otto, all unrestricted free agents at the end of this year. That's a lot of holes you got to fix. And if you're going to say that Thule is going to make this huge jump and he's even on the same level as TJ Watt or Trey Hendrickson, the guys that we just mentioned, Myles Garrett, okay, like even if he does, he's going to get double teamed a lot because the other matchups are just not there. And they're going to go, yeah, we'll let everyone else go one-on-one with these guys that are like JV players and go ahead and have a double on Thule and he can't go anywhere. This front is going to get easily dominated if they don't address it very soon. I believe they will, but that's something I think can expose the Chargers pretty quickly, especially let's say Matt gets hurt because of that age. Can Bud Dupree step up big? Oh, maybe we shall see. It's something I worry about a lot, Dave. It's if they have all time to throw, it doesn't matter how good our corners look. It doesn't matter how good our safeties play. If you have all day to throw, someone's going to be able to find a weakness. Some receiver is going to be able to find a gap and get open. But that's, to me, a glaring issue for the Los Angeles Chargers. What do you think, Dave?
I don't disagree with that. What I'm curious to know is because when you were looking at practice and things get going and Harbaugh and Ortiz are walking around and they're judging their personnel and going, man, you know what? Guess what? I think our, defensive line's pretty strong. And you're like, and you have to be thinking of the three of us were there, go, wait a second. They're strong against this crappy interior offensive line. And at the same time, if our interior offensive line looks good against those guys, we're going to go, hey, man, our defensive line stinks. It's just these guys look good against those guys. But when we actually play real talented teams, that is completely my concern of what's going on in the middle. And what do they always say? If you want to win games, and it sounds like the way Ortiz and Harbaugh talk about building a team, it's about getting strong from the inside out. But they really haven't. They went from the inside, meaning the tackles. But as far as the guards and the center and going defensive tackle, the game has changed in one way major where, we all saw the movie The Blind Side, right? You get that left tackle, and the left tackle was making a ton of money. And that went on for, 25, 30 years where left tackles started getting paid crazy money, more money than receivers. Well, then all of a sudden you get a guy like Aaron Donald, and he kind of changes things. He blows things up in the middle, right? And other teams start copying that. Philadelphia Eagles, what were they trying to do? The Eagles did the same thing. And you realize, guess what? It's not just that guy on the edge, because that's just one side. If you can blow it up with a strong interior defensive line, all of a sudden everything goes to hell, right? Makes everyone's job easier. And the Rams changed it. The Eagles changed it. And this is the way it's going to be for maybe the next 20 years. Let's get the guys, those defensive tackles that are the real deal. That's when we talk about even losing Ford. That one hurt. You see him lose, all of a sudden go to the Rams. That one hurts. And so you sit there and you tip your hat to Ortiz and Harbaugh and go, we have faith in you. But at the same time, I'm like, guys, really, are you guys comfortable with what we have? Because I think every Charger fan's really scared about their interior defensive line and the interior offensive line.
I agree. I think somebody Dominic Rodgers put Jamari Caldwell is going to surprise y'all. I'm not saying I don't think any of us believe Jamari Caldwell is not going to do well. I mean, he's a guy that they brought in for a reason. They think he can clog up the middle of the defensive line. But if you watched the Chiefs, right, in the last game of the season, what was it? The offensive defensive line was getting abused. And Mike G says sacks are overrated. I disagree. And if you think sacks overrated, do you think that pushing the quarterback back, getting into his face, making it hard for him to throw, making it hard for the running back to run is overrated? Because I think that's definitely a winning formula for any team. The biggest weakness on this team to me is the center position specifically. I would usually say guard, but since they brought in Mekhi Becton, I have high hopes that he's going to, help us there. Zion Johnson, I really have no faith in at this point. Tight end is a huge, huge weakness on this team. People want to talk about Tyler Conklin's routes because everybody was talking about that over the weekend, the video that's all over social media. That's great that he can run cool looking routes, but can he make a difference in the passing game, right? Because right now, Will Disley is tight end 1 with Tyler Conklin, tight end 2. Whoever the Chargers do that, Tyler Conklin is not a top 25 tight end in the league. Maybe he's a top 20 tight end. Anyways, the Chargers have no good tight ends on their roster at this point. Defensive line's an issue. One thing, Mario, that I listened to in these Chargers interviews or post-practice interviews is Thule looks like a freak, they said. And I know you said that you have your doubts with Thule. All of us do because we haven't seen him put it together consistently throughout the season. But they're saying he's going to have a breakout year. And not only is he one of the best defensive players on the team, they think he's one of the best edge rushers in the NFL.
I mean, I hope so. And I hope, he does have a big year. We were high on him when he got drafted. That was a guy that we all kind of pinned that he's going to be a huge player for the Chargers. The thing I worry about, too, is let's say he does have this breakout season. And he is like this incredible player. The thing that I get worried about is the guys around him just aren't helping him enough. Where his matchups just are tough for him, right? Like he's just not getting what he needs with a one-on-one versus a tackle. Instead, he's just getting bumped all the time. The guard's coming over him and he's blowing him up and he's getting chipped all the time. That's what I kind of worry about with Thule. But I really hope it's ready for a big breakout season. And the tight end spot too. I mean, Dave, I just have the Texans playoff game stuck in my head where it's Disley and the easy pitch and catch, and it melts in his hands. Or like the screen passes that I swear were the slowest moving screen passes of all time. They worked. They'd get like 5 yards, but I was like, oh my God, my nephew just ran across the rim. That he ran faster than he did right there. There's just stuff that I worry with that position a little bit. But we have some youth there, and there's some promise that maybe it's turned around a little bit, but we shall see.
Yeah, I tell you, I was thinking of the Charger Texans game today. I have zero desire to ever see anything of that game or talk about that game. It was a nightmare. The best thing about losing that game, that was a complete team effort loss. Like, we can point the finger at a bunch of guys. It wasn't one guy where we're like, can you believe that guy let us down? There's one guy in the airplane crying. It was one of those where, what the hell happened to you guys kind of game. And you move on and you show up in next year where we're at right now, and you move forward. But yeah, that I don't even want to think about that one. Like, that one didn't hurt as much to me as the Jags game. The Jags game was hurt more than that one. The Texans game was like, oh, we completely yes the bed, and that's exactly what happened in that one. I'm reading the chat here on the side as far as sacks overrated. Look, I'll say this about sacks, just my opinion on this. You can have a guy that has 20 sacks, 22 sacks. Again, those are only 22 plays in a full season, but you got to have constant pressure on the quarterback. And I think even the reputation of I might get sacked here because that guy has 20, it maybe forces the quarterback into making a bad decision. And that's the whole thing. You can't leave a quarterback there with plenty of time to make his reads and make an accurate pass. You got to have you have to have constant pressure, obviously, on the quarterback the entire game. And we like our DC. We like what we have. I mean, one of my favorite plays in defense, and it's a hell of a gamble. I understand the rotation, how it works before anyone tells me, yeah, but the safety rotates over. I love the corner blitz. It is such a gamble, man, but I love it. I love the corner blitz. Anytime the corner blitz works, I'm a huge fan. I just think it's cool as hell.
Corner blitz, when executed correctly, is the best looking play in football. Like, it's just the best. Like, if the corner gets a sack, how does that not pump up your entire team? Chargers could totally do that this year with the corners that we have. Cam Hart is huge, by the way. Pause. He's one of the biggest corners in the NFL. Pause again. When I was looking at the Chargers tight end depth chart, here's my old man take of the day. Dave hates take, but here's my old man take. All right, so you have three guys, right, that you're going to depend on in the tight end position. You have Will Disley, right? You have Tyler Conklin, and you have Aronde Gadsden. This week in Nashville, Tennessee, they're having tight end university. If you're not familiar with tight end university, I think it's one of the best things that they do in the NFL. It's created by Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen, and George Kittle, where they get every tight end in the league is invited. They get to Nashville, Tennessee. They do like teaching sessions in a classroom. They have guys in there teaching guys how to run routes. I mean, Jeremy Shockey's here and a few other guys. And they're just working on their craft basically for 3-4 days. It's all about bettering the tight end position. My gripe is no Charger showed up.
Did it get an invite?
Every tight end in the NFL is invited, and not one Charger showed up. That's my old man gripe of the day.
Wow,
it pissed me off. I was like, "What are you guys in Cancun? You guys are too good to show up for 3 days to get better. You're going to learn from Travis Kelce and all these top tight ends. And granted, Kittle's awesome. It pissed me off. Not every tight end showed up. Some guys that didn't show up, besides the Chargers guys, is Mark Andrews, Sam Laporta, Colston Loveland, and Tyler Warren. They're not here. But I think almost every team had a representative but the Chargers.
Dude, I wish we had a pass, and I've never said this once, a media pass just for Josh to ask that question to Harbaugh. Hey, how come none of your Charger tight ends showed up at the invite for tight end U? Like, what happened? And just
I would love to ask that question.
Seriously,
he would hate that they didn't show up.
He would hate that they didn't show up. Go, wait a second. There was a wealth of knowledge by future Hall of Famers, and our tight ends ranked number 32 out of 32, and we can't show up. What?
I also love the tight end U graphic that they have. That's like a fraternity deposit. It's like, you're not just do like a cool video, like a highlight of like each one. I don't know, guys. Let's get creative here. Let's not make them look like they just rushed to Mackay.
Yeah, they try to make like the fraternity thing. But dude, am I off on that one, Mario? Am I being like old man, get off my grass kind of thing with that, or do you agree with me?
So here's my thing. I would turn old man really quickly. Like if like week 1 there's a bad game, I'm turning old man with you right away. It's like, in the back in June, you are a tight end. You know what I'm saying? Like that would send me up the hill, especially against the Chiefs. If like Kelce goes on for like 3 touchdowns and we, Disley and company have like 3 drops, which just don't play very well. That's something that in the back of my mind I'll go back to. It's like, well, when you had a chance to learn from the best, where were you? That's when the old man would get in me. I just need a little rage to get there. Just need pushed.
That's it. It's I don't know. I just don't understand when someone that's better than you is giving you a chance to learn why you just want to take advantage of it. It just seems like a waste. By the way, speaking of guys, what they're doing this summer, Josh's old high school teammate, Tony Jefferson, had a big football camp at his alma mater, East Lake High School, on Saturday. That was pretty cool to see Tony always giving back, and he always does. He does it every single year. He's been in the league a long time. And then Derwin James and Jaleel Adai, they were doing another one at the same time up the freeway towards Los Angeles and North County of San Diego at Sage Creek, doing another one, which just want to remind people on two things. One, Sage Creek is a beautiful football field. Two, Sage Creek does not have a football team. It's very bizarre. No idea why, but they have an incredible football field and stadium and the whole deal. And we walk by it every time we play a baseball game against them. And I'll mention this since I have the opportunity. We ended their season this past year in the playoffs. So tip of that to everyone. That's meant to be a compliment to Derwin James, but I didn't pat myself on the back right there. Say I turned everything. I feel better.
Les Smith says,
Dweller says, where the hell Sage? Hold on, real quick.
Yeah.
Sage Creek is right down the street from Carlsbad High School. It's very close. It's in the same neighborhood. So everyone knows Carlsbad. Yeah,
Except
I don't
Mario.
even. Yeah. Okay, yeah. By the way, I don't know why you'd even ask that question because the camp's over. Okay, stay away from the kids.
Yeah. 100 yards away from the high school. Les Smith says, why isn't Tony a guest? Great question. Why isn't Tony a guest? I don't know. Why won't Tony answer me? I've DM'd him. He doesn't respond. We went to high school together. I thought he liked me. He probably doesn't.
He does like you. Yeah,
I don't know what to say. No, He does like me. Tony doesn't hate me or anything like that, but I can't get a response. I don't know. Does it bother me? Yeah, it does. Because he totally should be a guest on this podcast because we went to high school together, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Good God.
That's why we don't sleep at night.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Gotta take a
Les.
long look in the mirror. What's wrong with me? You
Yeah.
know? It's probably because I talk bad about Jasir Taylor, his buddy. All right,
Christian, I see Christian's comment right there makes me laugh. You're right, Christian. I do like to talk a lot of trash. It's all meant in fun,
Nobody talks more trash than Dave.
especially on Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Twitter. If you guys have Twitter, be careful. Don't open it in public. JCA 100 pesos. Thank you.
Jeez.
Says, which is like $3 each for us. How much of advantage from 1 to 10, if any, against us for divisional rivals to have an ex-Charger? Should we worry about Christian Fulton and JK? How does it work? What did they usually share that makes an impact? You guys want to go first? You want me to go first?
Well, I'll let you go first. I mean, I think we all have an opinion. You go first.
All right. Speaking of J.K. Dobbins and Christian Fulton, one of those players can hurt us.
Yes.
If I jinx it, dude, both these guys can punch me in the face. I am 0% scared of Christian Fulton. I'm actually hyped that he's in the division. I don't know why the Chiefs signed him. He was terrible for the Chargers. J.K. I think actually is pretty good. So J.K. can make a difference for the Broncos. 0% threat for me on Christian Fulton.
Yeah, Fulton, I don't really care for. JK, is he going to be healthy for both matchups? And we shall see. There's always that famous Hard Knocks clip where I believe I want to say.
We play him second game of the year. If he's hurt by then,
he could be.
He could.
But there's always that clip. I can't remember what player it was, but they were playing his former team, and he led the meeting and going, "Hey, this guy loves this. He tends to do this. This is underrated guy. Yada yada yada." So there's probably gonna be something that's against us. Also, there wasn't a huge turnover in our coaches this past year. Roman's still there, Minter's still there. So the offense and defense aren't going to change very much. That being said, you're inside our division. You know those teams better than anyone already. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything. Honestly, this might sound crazy, Dave, but I don't think there's anything that they could tell Peyton, Reed, or Carroll that they wouldn't know already.
Yeah, I'd say JK might understand the verbal signals. I'm sure you got to change all that up, right? I mean, there has to be something where you're yelling out, "Hey, this is what we called coming out. This is what we think it's been switched to as an audible." That maybe he can understand the verbal signals of what the linebackers are doing or whatever else. But I don't think it's a big of a deal as if let's say Aaron Rodgers facing the Jets when the Steelers take on the Jets this year. Like, he's going to have a better idea. Like, you have to go out of your way and add more time to practice to change things up. Right?
Yeah.
But even then, though, like that's a new coaching staff in New York.
That's true. You're absolutely right.
So you
You're
don't have to worry
absolutely
about that.
Yeah. It's I can't tell you. I can only tell you just because of baseball that we change things up. But it's easy in baseball. You just change an indicator. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. It used to be the ear, now it's the hat, now it's the belt. Baseball's super easy. They're only like 10 signs. Football, you got 150 plays.
True.
It's a lot.
True.
If Fulton does anything, good God. I'd like to tell you I'd walk to Carlsbad, but I'm not. I'm not doing the walking stuff anymore.
No more walking for you?
No more walking. I've lucked out. I've thought about this. Like, I really lucked out. I don't have to walk from Atlanta to San Diego on that one a few years ago. Thank God for Josh Palmer. Yeah.
You could have been like Forrest Gump.
You aren't kidding.
All right. Next question is from John G. Bigger concern, left guard and center or Greg Roman? What do you think, Mario?
I think center is probably my biggest worry. I think Greg Roman is just chomping on the bits to use Omer and Hampton, and I think this is a year where we will probably praise. This is going to sound crazy, but I think we'll probably praise him more than anything. So I think the run attack is going to really pop off this year and be really, really special.
Center for me is my biggest concern, and at the same time, I still can't believe Greg Roman's younger than me. Like, literally, I think Greg Roman, 74 years old, and I'm going, what the hell? And it really bothers me that Jim Harbaugh is so tied to him. Like, meaning, like, it seems like there's a friendship loyalty there where it's tough to fire your friends. I don't think Greg Roman's the guy that will be our OC when we win a Super Bowl. And I feel like we're stuck with Greg Roman right now.
So your answer is Greg Roman?
No, I'm going to go center because I don't think Greg Roman's going anywhere. I think if the Chargers start to drown at center, they will make a move for a center.
That's a good point. I think if the center position continues to drown, they're going to make a change. And they brought in Andre James, who's not very good, to be honest, but he might be better than what we have. According to our lads, who I think is the most reliable on depth charts, they have Zion Johnson as the center. That scares the living crap out of me. I don't think he can do that. Right now they have Bozeman at left guard. To me, that's a bigger concern. I think Greg Roman's going to be better than last year, but I don't know if he's going to be there next season. What we got next? B. Hannon, Mario, $5 from B. Hannon. Thoughts on the KD trade?
I really like the trade for Houston. I think it was smart that they were able to keep Thompson, Smith, and Sengun. Like, you don't have to give up any of those guys. You gave up Jalen Green. I call him, I think he's in the Levine territory where a great scorer can get a bucket anytime you want. But if you think you're going to win a game or a championship or a playoff game with him, that's funny, man. You never will. Same thing with that high school crush that you had. She won't call you either, buddy. It's smart for both sides. Suns, it's going to be very funny to see Beal, Green, and Booker all in the same backcourt. Good luck. I don't know how the hell that's going to work out. Those are three guys that need the basketball a lot of the time. Suns are in a bad spot. But for Houston, I think it works out. The only bad part about Houston, Dave, is that you're stuck in the West where, like, I don't know, everyone's good.
Okay, so hold on. Here's the deal. Houston had the number 2. I love, by the way, you guys can always ask questions outside of NFL, but we're all sports fans. Is Houston had the number 2 seed? With Durant, are they better than the number 2 seed?
Yeah.
No, they're not better than.
They're better than Oklahoma City now? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry. Would you say better than 2? I thought you said stay at 2 seed.
No, they're the number 2 seed now. Like, with that trade, are you now better than what you were when you acquired a 37-year-old Hall of Famer? Durant's a hell of a player. But my point is, are you now the number 1 seed?
You're not 1 seed, but you can probably get 2 seed again, and you beat the Warriors in the series.
That's called moving nowhere fast.
Okay.
Screwing your way to the middle. B. Hannon, $5. This is for Dave. Do you have a bidet?
I don't have a bidet. You know what? I don't. I've been tempted to get one. I almost bought one when if you've been with the show for a while, I ruptured my bicep. So I tore the tendon from my shoulder to my elbow. Okay. It was a terrible accident. I don't want to talk about how it happened. But but when it was my right arm, I'm right-handed, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have the surgery to fix my arm, which means it would have been stuck in basically a brace for 6 months. So of course I would have to go lefty. And I'm like, I can't go lefty. I've been going righty my whole life. I go, it's going to look like a goddamn Jackson Pollock painting back there. Not to be too graphic, but I got to get a bidet. I need some help. And then I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. I can move my arm. I can brush my teeth. I can eat. My arm's jacked for the rest of my life. But at the same time, I didn't need to go with the bidet. My mom has one.
I want
It's
one.
nice.
My next house,
dude,
I'm going to get one.
Dude, 100%. I recommend it. If anyone is building a house or look, I can't do anything. If I put a light bulb in, I walk around like I'm the greatest person on the planet. I can't do anything. But if you know someone that's willing to put it in for you, or you're building a house, dude, I 100% recommend it. Everybody loves it. There's not one person that has a bidet doesn't go, it's the greatest thing of all time.
With the seat warmer, the two-parter. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need the seat warmer with it.
Yeah.
You still got to do a little,
Yeah, you got to do. You can't just walk out of the room, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Know the arena you're in,
Yeah, no, the arena.
All right, this one's for Mario. It's from Matthew Dahl, 199. He says, thoughts on John Jones retiring? I think he wussed out.
Very funny that the most John Jones style, he retires and he gets charges filed against him in the same day for like a misdemeanor. So that's just ties a knot on his legacy. Look, I think it hurts him. He's the greatest fighter we've ever seen, 20-fight unbeaten win streak. But at the end of the day, you dodged the best fighter currently in the world in Tom Aspinall, and you instead fought a guy that's 40 years old in Stipe, that's way past his prime, and congratulations, you took him out, but you couldn't do that against Tom. You will be remembered with an asterisk, I think, with John Jones in many different ways, from the charges filed against him to the drug testing to now this, where you won't even give the up-and-comer when you're in shape the chance to fight you when that was happened to you in your career. And then other great fighters have given those opportunities to these young guys coming up, a chance to go at him and go against them. You saw Usman do it 2 weeks ago. I think that's very coward-like. I think that's very selfish too. And this is a guy that's taken the heavyweight division in the UFC, that in fighting, that's your most important division, and he's left it just in a standstill because he's too selfish, too big of I want to, all this attention on me to make a decision on his career. So congrats, enjoy retirement, but also you're kind of a coward and you're a selfish person for the past 6 months of what you put through a fighter in his prime and through a bunch of other guys in that division trying to earn what you've done in your career. I've been fired about this for 6 hours.
I'm not familiar with the UFC like you are. Is he the greatest UFC fighter of all time?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not even a question. So it's I think it's 3 different weight classes he's won, but when I say Josh, just a disarray of issues. He beat Daniel Cormier, who's again only lost 3 times in his career, excellent fighter, 2-time champ. He beat him, and he was like, "Yeah, I was high off cocaine." And he went and fought it. That's terrible for you. But again, he in the last 3-4 years, I'd say, Josh, he missed out on fighting Francis Ngannou, and he's been very picky on who he fights. And let's just say the fighters he fought stylistically match up for his success.
Got it. All right. Makes sense. All right, Dave Rant, what we got?
All right, look, it's summertime. It's officially summertime. It's June 24th as we do this show. Right now, I know a lot of people are dealing with extreme heat. I'm seeing in Baltimore, it's 98, 99 degrees. Where's that? Where you're at, Mario? What's the temperature today?
100.
It's 100. Josh, what's it? And you have humidity, correct?
Yeah, I got thunderstorms and it's 95.
Okay. I got 73 right now. It's going to drop down to 72 in about an hour, and 71 in 2 hours. So it's no humidity, by the way, but that's the price of being in Southern California. It's worth it for me. I'm not a bug guy, so that's not the problem here. It's summertime. I'm going to give you something that we're all concerned about every single year. Nobody talks about it, okay, but it's always a major concern. Mario, you have a family reunion coming up, right? You don't care so much about your family, but let's say you're going to, I mean by that. I mean, this isn't a big issue if you're around family, but if let's say you're invited to a work party or a barbecue, all right, whether it's friends, whether it's people that are your bosses or your coworkers, everybody has a little bit of anxiety and no one ever talks about it. It's the squirt bottles, meaning the condiments, whether it's mustard, It's ketchup, it's relish, it's mayonnaise, whatever you decide to use. Two things could happen that are bad. All right. One, we always worry with the mustard. You squeeze that bottle, is it going to sprout and get on my clothes? Because once it gets on your clothes, they're staying forever and you got to throw it away, right? You can't get mustard out, right? That's a concern. You're going, uh-oh. Worse, though, when you're around people you really don't know well, you squeeze the bottle and it makes the fart noise. And you have to think in your mind, do people think it was the bottle or do they think it was me? And then you start to panic a little bit and you're going, how many people who don't know me think I just did that? That was my body, not the bottle. And then you have a little bit of a panic and you start looking around like, who saw it? And how hot is that girl that just saw me do it? And now she's going to tell someone else that's hot in the office that, hey, that guy ripped one while he was sitting there getting his hamburger ready. It's a little embarrassing. And you want her to know it wasn't me. And someone wrote on there about George Costanza. It is 100% George Costanza thing. What just happened here? I squeezed the bottle. I swear it was the bottle. Okay. It was not me that did that. Mario would probably brag, even if it was the bottle, and say, that was me, right? You probably take credit for it. Yeah.
No, you look, the key to that is you look towards the person next to you, like, how long you holding that one then? That gets a good laugh.
But it has to be a better way. All right. Back in the day, they used to be in glass. Dude, I'm 100% fine. We keep the knife next to it. The old days, the jar, you open it up, you take the knife, you take it out, you throw it on the bun. You close the jar up, everybody's happy. There's no issues. But unless you get a full bottle of something, it's never good. Or if you get the mustard and the first squeeze and the first 10% is just all juice that comes out, you're like, God dang it, just ruined the bun. You know, and you shake that bottle up and you still end up with the juice, and it's just never good. It just has to be a better way of doing this. But this is the time of year. You guys all heard me say it. You never thought about it, but admit it. You all start to panic at these barbecues where you're like, I don't know how well the people around me know me. And all of a sudden they're going to start talking in their car. That guy right there, like Josh, hey, that tall guy, you wouldn't believe what he did. What a pig. Disgusting.
That has to be your most random rant ever. Ever. How did this one pop in your head? What, did something happen to you?
It happened to me an hour ago. Happened to me 1 hour ago with mustard.
Where were you at?
I was in the kitchen. I didn't care if your mom thought it was me.
Come on, the dog was you.
I know your mom, but you know your mom's like, hey, was that you? I'm like, dude, if it was me, I'd brag about it. It wasn't me. Okay, it wasn't me. This goddamn bottle.
After 30 years of marriage, you still won't fart in front of her.
No, 100% I will, but it's not one of those. It's not what I'm saying. It's embarrassing if it's someone that I don't know real well. And I'm not one of those guys that just walks around the house. I'm not that guy that just. I'm not a lift your leg up guy. I'm not that guy, Mario. I already know what's going to happen when you get older.
While you're talking, like we're in the period. We're in SWAS season.
In what season?
SWAS season.
Sweaty ass.
Yeah, I'm the culprit of that, and I'm getting pit stains now. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm freaking out.
Okay, here's the deal. Let me give you a hint on this one. It's the supplements you're taking, right? Which
supplements?
What are you taking? Are you taking stuff to work out?
I take creatine and lion's mane, and that's it.
Yeah, it's causing the change in your body chemistry.
I've been taking those for a really long time. I've been taking those for like over 3 years now.
What are you smoking? I don't know what to tell you.
I don't smoke.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I'm kidding.
I don't know, but it's the chemistry in your body that's changing.
But that is the worst. I think SWAS is there's not because you like want to wear something light because it's hot out, and then you're sitting down, and then you stand up.
Go powder.
Baby, what am I, 5?
Whatever, sweaty ass guy. Go throw that Gold Bond in there. I don't know what to tell you.
Really, that does it? Baby powder stops SWAS.
That will keep you from sweating. 100%. They won't sweat through your clothes. Why do you think people use it?
I don't know.
People use it so their balls don't stick to their legs.
You could do that.
I thought it was that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think women even understand the whole bat wing thing.
Probably not.
Explain to the guests what that means.
Well, I just did. I think everyone figured it out. I get how many? I mean, we have women in this chat right now who are probably going, wait a second, they stick to your leg? Yeah, they do.
It's the worst.
It is.
All right, we should wrap this up.
We should.
It's going nowhere fast. JT's having a stroke in the background right now.
JT's calling
what part am I supposed to edit?
Yeah. He's calling our intern instructor going, dude, these guys suck. Gotta go meet politicians an hour, and he's cutting a video talking about guys with swats.
All right, DZ says aluminum deodorant causes pit stains. It might. All right, here's the whole thing: aluminum also supposed to cause a lot of other problems with your brain. But I'll say this, man: I'd rather not stink. I'd rather be known as the guy that can't remember where he parked his car when he's 72 years old than the guy that's known as the stinky guy when he's 50. Go ahead, give me as much aluminum as there is. I really don't care. I'm not into the guy that's using the rock or anything else to put under my arms. If anyone's going to get Alzheimer's, it's going to be me. I'm a 10 stroke on each armpit guy every time anyway. I've been sticking aluminum under my armpits for years, but I'm not known as the stinky guy. I literally walk around with 2 aluminum pans under my arms in the summer if I need it. Doesn't matter as long as I'm not the stinky guy.
I used to in college, and first year out of college, I used to take not when I clean dishes, I would just take disinfecting wipes and just use that. And my buddy was like,
on your armpits?
No,
Like
no,
Lysol
on
wipes?
on the dishes, on the Lysol, yeah, disinfectant. I would just do that. And my
Holy
buddy
crap.
was like, "How long have you been doing that to our dishes?" Like, dude, saves us so much time.
Surprised you guys haven't died.
Dude, I know. He was like, "You're gonna give us cancer." I
Yeah,
was like,
you're getting straight poison.
Yeah, I was like, "My bad, fellas."
Oh my god.
It's like on me.
On me. Hey, you know that tumor that Jim got? That might have been from me. Good God. You grew up on 3 Mile Island? What's going on here?
Tough one. I thought I broke the system. What are you gonna do?
See, you just dropped it. What are you gonna do? That's what it says. You finish those sentences. All right. So the goals will be back on Thursday, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
I won't be here. I'll be in transit. I'm gonna be driving to Chicago.
Okay.
Sorry, it'll be without me.
I'll be
All
here.
right.
Dave and I would handle it.
Yeah.
Hold on the fort.
Hold on the
All right.
fort. And JT
All right.
will be here too on the
All right.
Titanic.
All right. We should tell JT's story. I got it. The JT story today was sad. Yeah. All right. All right. We'll get on out of here. We'll be back on Thursday, 1 o'clock. Wish Mario happy driving all the way to Chicago, and then we'll keep things rolling. Again, thank you so much for joining us today, as we're kind of always all over the place. Appreciate the comments as well. Everybody stay cool out there. I know you guys are sweating if you're outside of California. It's extremely hot. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. Please subscribe and like the show. Thank you so much for your time.